Before you put your mom or grandmother in a long-term care facility in America, find out if it's run by a private equity firm. Why? Hang out with me today and find out. Welcome. On today's show, we're going to be talking about private equity, a nursing home disaster or nightmare. So let's start with an overview of what's going on with the nursing home business these days. You know, as we age, thoughts of where we're going to spend the last few years of our life often come to mind, right? Many for-profit nursing homes in Canada, America, and also in Europe, besides being really expensive, have been frequently associated with their residents being abused. That's something that whoever puts their loved ones in the nursing home always has to deal with. And in addition to that, nowadays, because of COVID-19, many private equity or for-profit nursing home businesses are now being called horror houses of death. Why? Well, because the coronavirus death rate in nursing homes run by private equity or for-profit companies is way higher than those run by not-for-profit, non-profit, or small business, mom-and-pop type nursing homes. So let's take an in-depth look now and see what's going on. Approximately 70% of nursing homes are run for-profit. The difference, however, is that over the last few years, the number of private equity firm holdings of nursing homes have soared. Now, private equity companies are a kind of company known for ruthlessly squeezing every ounce of profit from their businesses to maximize their profit, which always means extreme cost cutting and low quality of care. That has led to huge violations uncovered by government inspectors. You know, all this ugly news should have us questioning the value of aggressive profit-making businesses in long-term care facilities, which private equity firms are. They're really aggressive profit-making businesses. Again, I'm talking about large-size firms running a nursing home. I'm not talking about small private home businesses, okay? So what is wrong with large companies running nursing homes? Well, like I said, corporations are for-profit creatures by design. So, in this case, the nursing home case, the profit motive is made to compete with human health needs. And the profit motive will always win out. It always has and always will. Which means that human health needs will always lose out. And in nursing homes, that could be deadly. And has been. You know, some business services are just better managed by the public sector. Like what? Well, services like healthcare, education, and infrastructure, building roads and bridges, and other areas where the public interest, or more specifically, when someone's health or well-being is at stake. Look, it's been drummed into our skulls forever that the private sector is supposed to be more efficient and does things better than the public sector. I'm sure you've heard that your whole life. I have. And that may be true for manufacturing material goods like cars or clothes, but that logic falls apart when it comes to human health needs. Why? Well, again, because the difference separating the private and public sectors is that the private sector is focused on profit making only. In fact, that is the only real purpose of a for-profit business enterprise. So regardless of what industry marketing spokesmen say about care in their nursing homes, a private equity company or any large for-profit company in the nursing home business is focused on maximizing their profits. It's important to remember that, because that is what boards of directors and shareholders of these companies demand. And what's often not demanded by these companies is providing quality care for its residents, because that would mean additional cost which would cut into their profit margin. So exactly how do private equity firms become more efficient in nursing home business? Well, they skimp on staff costs, right? They hire fewer workers and pay them rock bottom wages with no benefits. You know, this kind of aggressive business management is guaranteed to result in high turnover and poor treatment of the residents as well as the employees of that firm. It never ends well when cost-cutting business decisions are made in nursing homes. Let's watch a short video clip. Come back and talk about it.
Is asking for the people of Ontario to join us in demanding change, real change in long-term care services. Over the last 5 months, we've definitely seen through evidence and lots of data that for-profit nursing homes did much worse during the last 5 months handling the pandemic. They had more infections. They definitely had more deaths. They had fewer staff. It was the for-profit homes that the government had to place management oversight into. They continue to have fewer staff and lower wages. There's was 1,800 residents died. So we believe that the people of Ontario agree that you should not be making profits off of senior care.
Terrific, isn't it? Look, one of the ways private equity firms, especially, which are aggressive for-profit companies, one of the ways they maximize their profits is by increasing the patients per bed occupancy rates while reducing nursing staffing. It's been estimated that the increase in patient volume and the decrease in nursing salaries is worth about $770,000 yearly. You know, when something doesn't smell right, always follow the money. The video clip you just watched is based on a report from commondreams.org and is similar to an infamous nursing home scandal case in Ontario, Canada, many years ago. Well, what happened back then was lax government regulation was traceable back to an individual called Mike Harris, who was the former conservative premier. A premier is the equivalent of a governor in the United States. And it was his government that removed minimum staffing requirements for nursing homes in the late 1990s. And he encouraged the involvement of for-profit businesses, private businesses, in the nursing home business. After he retired from politics in 2002, Mr. Harris, he made a ton of money from the lucrative private nursing home business that he helped create while he was serving as a chairman of Chartwell Retirement Residences, which is a chain of nursing homes in Canada. This is a quote from the Common Dreams article. Over the past decade, Chartwell paid its executives $47.3 million and distributed $793 million to shareholders. In the 28 nursing homes Chartwell owns and operates in Ontario, Canada, the COVID-19 infection rate has been 47% higher and the fatality rate 68% higher than the provincial average. Okay, so let's quickly look at privatization in other sectors of the economy. Well, it turns out that besides the nursing home business, Mr. Harris was also involved in other privatization efforts. He got involved in the 1999 privatization of Highway 407 in Ontario, Canada. What happened with that? Well, because of privatization, again, Ontario drivers paid billions of dollars in higher tolls, and it will cost them many more billions before the whole privatization deal comes to an end. In 78 years. Okay, so what's the takeaway from this show today? Look, when it comes to providing economic justice for patients in private equity or large for-profit run nursing home companies, there isn't any. You know? In fact, it's the exact opposite. I want to make sure you understand my point today regarding profit in the nursing home business. I'm only talking about large for-profit, private equity nursing homes, okay? I had a grandmother in a nursing home business that I visited frequently, and it was run as a for-profit, but it was a standalone business, and it was well regulated. It wasn't a private equity run business. Like I said, it was a standalone business, and it had less than average complaints filed against it. In fact, in my grandmother's case, her care was more than adequate, in my opinion, and the opinion of all my relatives. Now, and also, there's a lot of small mom-and-pop type residential care facilities that operate above board. Those type of nursing home businesses are not the target of this show today. I think we all need to re-educate ourselves. That contrary to popular belief, the private sector does not always do things better than the public sector. I can tell you firsthand about that. I was personally involved as a wastewater operator in a large wastewater privatization effort from the very beginning of the wastewater privatization deal. Just let me say that after a few years under private operation, aggressive cost-cutting business practices were implemented, right? And soon after that, our processes really took a hit. And the result was that pretty much all of the employees of that private company wanted to go back to public sector control. I don't want to give out any details, since I don't know what legal ground I'm standing on. But listen, aggressive private equity or large for-profit companies running nursing homes are really only interested in getting profit out of the business. And they shouldn't be in that business to begin with, or providing sustenance and care of elderly, frail people, period, right? Now, in my opinion, we as consumers should not be patronizing these large for-profit corporations with the care of ourselves or our loved ones. It's just too risky. It's just my opinion. But I've given you evidence of what my opinion is based on. Like I said, in the private equity nursing home case, when the profit motive competes with human needs or human lives, the profit motive has a history of always winning out. So the patients often end up paying a high price in both dollars and their lives. So what should you do as you approach old age? Well, there are other options to consider than taking a risk of ending up in a private equity nursing home nightmare. For myself, I'm considering going to Thailand, where nursing homes there are run by more by individuals than by for-profit corporations. So there's better treatment than large corporate-run care homes in America and Canada. They're also more affordable, and the Thai staff, because of their religion, their upbringing, and their culture, have deep respect for elders, which results in more humane treatment of patients. So that's my personal endgame plan. So next week I'll be talking about the ethical company, the Grayston Bakery, a B Corp. If you happen to like the topics that I present on this show, please consider subscribing. In any event, stay safe, and remember, you deserve the government you vote for.